All right. Hello, guys. Welcome to this session of Hangout, where we'll be discussing. Welcome to this session of Hangout, where we'll be discussing workers' welfare in Nigeria. As we know, 1st of May in Nigeria, we celebrated Workers' Day, and a lot of issues came up. The issue of welfare, working condition, payment of salaries, and all that. So we'd like to get your views. Michael,
Yes.
you are in Lagos, Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us, you work in the private sector.
Yes, I work in the private sector.
So how would you rate your working condition? I hope your employer is not watching.
Well, the working conditions are okay. We have because it's a private sector, the CEO is a very passionate person and he's very concerned about his staff's welfare. And over time, we do something like a hangout where he meets all staff not in a formal setting and an informal setting where everybody is made to say what they are going through, their challenges on the job, and how to move it forward, and how to make their job function better.
Okay, but would you say in all sincerity that you can express yourself and criticize the management of your company? Would you say that in all sincerity? Or you have to be careful so you don't step on the wrong toes and get demoted?
Well, in every situation, you have to be diplomatic in a way. At the same time, you can also pass your message across.
All right, Blessing, we lost Michael there. I'm sure he would come back.
Yeah,
Okay, so you are in Georgia in the United States,
yeah.
but you've obviously had a taste of working in Nigeria. Could you compare both experiences and tell us?
Yeah, it's a different experience altogether here. Back home, we're always made to believe that even if you have something that you have to say that might cost a little bit of maybe I don't know what that word is to use, quote unquote, maybe something that's gonna like drag the company down. I mean, you would not want to say it out. So it's like you cannot really express yourself so freely in Nigeria, how things work. But here, I mean, it is, you have the right as a worker to express yourself. Although, like Michael said, everything has to do with diplomacy. I mean, you don't want to get your employer in any kind of mess or any kind of trouble. But I mean, you can express yourself freely as long as you go through the right channel. You see what I'm saying? But here they hear your voice, like they listen to you and they make amends if there is any be. But unlike back home, when things happen and whatever your boss says, is the boss. Whatever he says is final. I mean, you don't have your own words of, your opinion really doesn't count back home. So that, I mean, there are a lot of differences. I can go from now till, you know, start counting one after the other, but in a nutshell, it's different. It's different from back home. It's
Okay,
different.
but even from America, we do hear of some kind of sentiments against the blacks, or there could be a bit of politicking. Is it that perfect back there?
I mean, nowhere is perfect. I must tell you that nowhere is perfect. I mean, America, they have their own ups and downs too here too. They have their cons and they have their pros. Same like in Nigeria. I mean, racism, yes, is there, but back home, I mean, we're all one skin. You see, but there's what we call preferism back home. I mean, I like this one, I don't like that one. I mean, this person is this. I mean, it still shows despite the fact that I won't call her back home. But in America, I mean, it's against the law. Even when you do it, if you do it in the public, it's against the law and you go down with it. There are laws and they go by their laws, they go by those rules. You once you do it in the public or you do it openly and you get caught, also you go down with it. You go down with it. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Michael is back. Michael, you were about to share with us, I was asking if you can really be objective in expressing yourself to your management. Can you criticize your management, since you're in the private sector?
Okay, okay. What I'm saying is, even though I'm in the private sector, you can criticize constructively without having to make your comments rudely or insultive. You can also, your mode of communication matters a lot. Like, I have to tell the management sometimes on how you can do things in a better way, in a very subtle manner, but firm. And he sees it, and sometimes we disagree to agree. Sometimes they just say, Mike, this can't work, and I let it go.
And there won't be a reprisal. Are you sure there won't be a reprisal?
Well, it won't be a reprisal because it will be open. It is not a one-on-one thing. It's management. Management is not one person. It's a group of people. So there won't be reprisals. Well, not directly anyway.
Not directly.
Yes.
Okay. Blessing, we have a situation in Nigeria where the civil servants are calling for their salaries. We have in some states they're being owed as much as 12 months, 15 months, and they say it's because of recession. The government doesn't have enough money to cater. Do you hear of things like that in the United States?
No. When you work, you get paid. There is nothing like, I mean, maybe some, because I wouldn't say no in totality, because I think I heard over the news one time about a company that was doing, some of his staff at the time. But I mean, I can say, maybe one in like thousands, because it's against the law. Because if I work, I don't get paid. I mean, that company can be sued, and they can pay a lot of money in fine, for not paying their workers. So most of the time, companies don't want to go down they don't want their names to go down the drain. So for everywhere that I've worked and people that are around me that I've worked, I've never heard a situation where they say, oh, I worked X amount of hours and I don't get paid till maybe 2 months later. I've never heard it. I mean, people close to me, but I think I heard it over the news one time, just one time, that will happen. And I think the government shut the company down at the time. The company was shut down, and I don't know what happened thereafter, but the company was shut down.
Okay, but we also hear that over there, yes, you're being paid by the hour. They're very strict. You could fall ill and not get to work, and you're being surcharged. You're not going to be paid. But it seems in Nigeria that's a bit liberal.
Yeah, it is. I must say. I mean, here you get paid by hourly, but some still get paid salary depending on your position in the company. Yeah, some still get paid salary. Like back home, everybody is salary based, but here you have to get to a particular level, like the managerial level, then you become based on the salary. They put you on a salary. But if you're not in the managerial level, you get paid hourly.
So if you fall ill, you can make it to work. You're not
I
working,
mean,
you don't get paid.
they have well, if your PRN is as needed. If you're full time, you have some benefits. So as a full time employee, you have some benefit for you for some time. Like if you fall sick, they have sick allowances. That's okay, just an impromptu thing. I mean, you never plan to be sick, but it happens. So they cover you on that. And they have a whole lot of programs too that still cover you. Like for some reason, I mean, here when you're pregnant, they'll give you 2 weeks paycheck. That's what you're entitled to. Then again, depending on your level, depending on what your contribution is in the company. So 2 weeks is what you're entitled to. So after 2 weeks, if you cannot come back to work, there's what they call FMLA. FMLA is you have coverage for 3 months if you want to take 3 months out. I mean, you can have 3 months, but it's going to be without pay. But when you're coming back, your job is still secured. But back home, I even heard now that you can go as long as 6 months and they still pay you when you're maternity leave. It doesn't happen.
Well, thank God at least there's a bit.
Some companies still do some kind of a little extension, but majority of the company that I know, I mean, it's just after your 2 weeks, if you can go back to work, you can stay home, but it's going to be without pay.
Okay, so we have Olusesan trying to join in. Olusesan, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Olusesan, can you hear? Okay, all right. So Michael, so
Yes.
at least it's not so bad. It's not so bad in Nigeria. I know you're not a woman, but at least we have the 3 month. I mean, like average for most companies, you have the 3 month maternity leave, which they don't have in the United States. At least there's this.
Yes,
It's
at
short.
least that is something that we can write home about, that it is good about Nigeria.
Yeah, but when you look at, okay, let me ask you personally, would you prefer the hourly payment, or do you? I suppose you're on salary at the moment.
Yes, salary.
Okay, so do you think you would prefer the hourly payment or the salary that you're on? Which one do you think is more beneficial to you?
Well, it depends. If at the point of negotiating, I'm being offered either hourly or salary, I think I'll pick hourly. That will make me negotiate more, because over time I'm able to judge my work based on, okay, I'm working for 8 hours for 40 hours. Then if I have to do any overtime over that 40 hours that's stipulated, I still get paid for those hours. And if I have to work weekends, I still get paid for those weekends. So I actually pick hourly.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
If you had a choice, Blessing, which one would you pick?
Well, depending on the exchange rate. Don't mind me. Yeah, because I can be on salary and after 30 days I take the money. I mean, I don't get nothing with it. How our naira is falling so bad right now. But depending on how much you're gonna be offered, like here majority of people get paid hourly, and then by the time you do your exchange rate, I mean, it's a lot, and people working back home, by the time you calculate how much you probably earn, on that monthly basis, someone back home is like, that's like the yearly amount they get. But a lot of expenses are waiting on you here. So before you know it, you're giving back all those hourly paid money. You're giving it back to you're giving it back to the country, because you don't get nothing at the end of the day after deduction from one bill to another. But in Nigeria, if my rent in back home is going to be is yearly. Once I pay 1 year, I'm done. I'm done till next year again. So here you don't pay yearly. I mean, you can if you have the money, but where are you going to find that kind of money? Because By the time you're paying like almost $1,000 for your rent on a monthly basis, now you'll be talking about $12,000 for a year. I mean, you can, even if you have that kind of money, you want to do something else with it. You see what I'm saying? But back home, if I pay 1 year, I'm done till next year again. Then power. I mean, sometimes you don't even pay for water because you have bottled. You have bottles back home. You don't pay for. I mean, you pay for gas, but you pay as you go. But this is no, they're going to charge you based on what you use. Here, you pay for a lot of utility insurance. They come with if you have a mortgage. I mean, it's different. If you live in an apartment, it's different. You see what I'm saying? But back home, if you own your own house, you probably just pay taxes every year. You don't pay no rent no more. But here, even when you have your house, I mean, your house is like they are leasing it to you for a fixed for fixed 30 years. It's fixed. So you have to still be paying. But once you have the money, you build your house back home, you know, those money you can use it for something else. So I mean, those are the little changes, I mean, difference that you have in Nigeria and here. I mean, you have those kind of differences.
Okay, so Michael, if you were to change anything in your working condition, what would you change?
That's a tough one. Change anything in my working condition right now. Let me see. Change anything in my working condition right now. Well, better working conditions definitely, but I'm trying to pinpoint what exactly I want.
More money, I'm sure.
More money, my salary, as in working condition, better salary, better pay. That would be first on the list. Then I could also look at, let's say, working conditions too. More room, bigger space. But basically, it's just money, more money, money. That's why I need more. Every other thing can fall into place. But the basic thing, if I can change it, be my salary to make it bigger and bigger.
Wow. So Blessing, if you could change anything about your working condition at the moment, what would you change?
Something else.
Say that again, please.
I said if I have to change anything, I have to leave the job and find something else because, you know, the jobs are just I mean, it's kind of fixed, you know. There's really nothing I would say, you know, I would want to change because they pay you what they pay you. You can ask for more, but I mean, based on your level and based on your commitment, that's what it is. You see what I'm saying? You can get incentives, but you can't say, oh, because I work this extra thing, then I should be given this. Is at the discretion of the employer. So I really don't do. I like what I do because I help people. So I don't know what I would like to change. Definitely like Obado said, maybe more money, but it's fixed.
Maybe you should have a little bit of faith. If you say more money, then you can get more money.
My dear, I wish they can listen to me and give me money, but I tell you, it's fixed. Is it that if you don't want it, you can always, grow in your career and move up and go look for something else because trust me, you won't get it that easy here.
So, Michael, do you see this more money coming anytime soon?
Anytime soon, yes. With faith. With faith, I can say I see more money coming anytime soon. Yeah, with faith.
Trust Nigerians, there's religion in everything.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this session. It was really interesting, having this talk with you, and thank you for sharing your experience with us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, so
You're welcome. Anytime.
enjoy your day, the rest of your day, that is.
You
All
too.
right. Thank you so
All
much
right.
for having us. We appreciate you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Amy.
Blessing. Thank you,
Yeah.
Michael. Thank you. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.